Hey, what's up, guys? Here on the Fire Sports Pod, I'm your host Zach Jackson. We got a great show for you guys today here on the YouTube show. As you guys see, no special guest today, but we're gonna still rock it. I know it's a little late, about 11:43 right now, but we still got to get the show in today. First up, we got two segments we're gonna be going over. If you guys check out the Apple Podcast and Spotify on the audio show for the Fire Sports Pod, we talked a little bit about the Super Bowl matchup coming up this weekend on Sunday at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time in Vegas between the Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs and Brock Purdy and the 49ers. Great matchup it's going to be. So that basically sets off our first segment. We're going to be talking about that first segment. And we might have a special guest over here in the corner talk a little bit about what his pick is. We're supposed to maybe have my brother put his input in, but he has a tournament tomorrow for wrestling, so he will not be attending. But my cameraman Kevin will be in just a little bit. So let's just go into it. First up, just going over just the Super Bowl in general. I think it's going to be a pretty good matchup. A lot of people are kind of you got mixed feelings about the Super Bowl, whether it is because they wanted the Lions to be in it. Underdog story would have been a great story to see if the Lions were in it instead of the 49ers, or in case scenario, Lamar Jackson, the Baltimore Ravens over the Kansas City Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes. I get it, and I understand where all the mixed feelings are, and I completely understand from what people are saying, but at the same time, the two best teams that are left standing are the two best teams that deserve to be there. The Lions, they had the lead. They had a chance to win the game. They were up 24-10 in the third, and they gave it up, and the 49ers took capitalized on the opportunities, and they won their game, and they advanced to the Super Bowl to play the favorite to come out basically of the AFC, which was with Patrick Mahomes in Kansas City. They took it to Baltimore. Baltimore had their chances. They decided to change the whole game plan of where they used to run the football, hard-nosed football, run it down their throats, and try to really succeed during that. And they tried to do it differently. They tried to have Lamar Jackson as a pocket quarterback. He's not a pocket quarterback. Sorry, he can throw out of the pocket. He's been playing. He was amazing out of the pocket this year. But when he needed his legs the most, which was against Kansas City, he just forgot to use them a lot more. He had that crazy pass where he threw it off the defender and it popped up in the air and he caught it to himself and then he ran it for a first down. That was pretty cool. But other than that, that was their biggest highlight of the game. Really, that was it. Kansas City didn't do much in the second half. They didn't score a point, but their defense played amazing. And that's why I think on the grand scheme of things, I think their defense is going to show up big time in the second half. And that's going to really make a difference to really who's going to win this game. If the 49ers are able to get their stops, are able to control the football, are able to run the football with Christian McCaffrey, able to hit the dink and dunks, and able to hit that explosive plays here and there for Brock Purdy, the George Kittle, Deebo Samuel, Christian McCaffrey, Brandon Ayuk, then they'll have a shot and they should win the game. But if Kansas City's defense can minimize Christian McCaffrey's damage on the offensive end and on the running and receiving, and you can limit Deebo Samuel from big explosive plays or George Kittle or Brandon Ayuk, then you'll be good. You might have to contain Brandon Ayuk, George Kittle, and Deebo, but you must try to stop at all means necessary to try to stop Christian McCaffrey. Because if he gets rolling, you are fucked. And I mean really fucked. You could see it against Detroit. You saw it during the regular season. You saw it against my Cowboys. There's just no shot when he gets going. And especially if Brock Purdy is clicking on all cylinders. Lately, he really hasn't. He's been a little inconsistent. But at the same time, guys, you never know. This is his first time in a Super Bowl. You don't know if it's nerves that's going to get to him, or he's just going to be a veteran and going to act like a veteran when he's really a rookie in that situation. He's going to come out and ball out and play his heart out. But to be honest, I just think that's not going to happen. I think Kansas City is built for this moment. I think Kansas City's team is built for this time in the year. You got one of the best coaches, if not the best coach in the NFL, behind Bill Belichick and Andy Reid. You have the best quarterback in the NFL by far in Patrick Mahomes, the guy that's trying to catch Tom Brady. Well, he's going to get one step closer if he wins another Super Bowl. That's 3 Super Bowls in 6 seasons. and he's only got 4 left, and I think he's only 27, 28 years old, and Tom Brady played till he was 45. So realistically, if you want to go Tom Brady's age, he's got 17 more years to play. From Tom Brady's age. If you want to go realistic, I probably would go to maybe 35, 37. So that leaves him with about, I would say 10 years, 10 to 11 years. We'll see how that goes. He might be able to play longer. He might play less, depending on a big serious injury, or depending if he just doesn't want to play and doesn't have the it factor anymore. But a lot of these situations will come later down the road. But this man's worth $500 million. Kansas City is not going to get rid of him anytime soon. If not at all, he'll probably be a Kansas City Chiefs for life. But man, what a moment it will be if Patrick Mahomes will be able to catch Tom Brady in Super Bowls. That would be ridiculous. And then you really can't say nothing about Tom Brady. He was great. He was one of the best. But it's a cycle that people are able to take over other people. And if that's the case, then people got to give Patrick Mahomes his flowers. And it doesn't matter. I know all the script shit, and I know all the Taylor Swift bullshit. I get it. They still have to go out there, put their bodies on the line, their blood, their sweat, and their tears. It don't matter. No matter what the hell the NFL is doing, people have to respect what these players are doing and putting their bodies on the line day in and night out. If you don't respect that, please, but in all due respect, get the fuck out of here. Don't talk about football because you don't know nothing about football. If you know one thing about football, if you think it's scripted, cool. But you must respect that, hey, these guys put their hearts and their souls out there on the field and leave it there. So do I think it's scripted? I would say no, because I just think that it's football and a lot can happen. The guy, purposely, you can see if it's purposely done. I just don't think, like, a lot of things have happened so far that has really been purposely done. You can name a couple of things, but at the same time, I just think it was smart football. I think whoever won. And I think who won those games deserved to win. And I think Patrick Mahomes in Kansas City and Andy Reid and Travis Kelce deserve to be there. I think Brock Purdy, Deebo Samuel, George Kittle, and Brandon Ayuk deserve to be in this game. And it's going to be a fun matchup to see Sunday night at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time in Las Vegas for the Super Bowl. And could Kansas City and Patrick Mahomes go back-to-back for the first time in a while? Or does Brock Purdy come in there and ruin the day for Patrick Mahomes? That both things could happen. You never know, but you also have to understand that the more experienced team is going to win. And when you have the more experienced quarterback at the helm, and you have the more experienced coach at the helm, in Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes over Kyle Shanahan and Brock Purdy, I will take 100% of the time the more experienced coach and the more experienced quarterback over a really good managing quarterback and a great play caller, but not as much experience as the other head coach. That's just my belief, but it's going to be a good game. You guys definitely tune into it. If you don't, well, that's your fucking fault. I really can't say that. If you don't like football, well, watch tennis. I don't know. Something. I don't know. I don't know what you're going to be doing on Sunday, but I would definitely watch this game. I have the Chiefs winning 28-24 and taking home the Super Bowl on their back-to-back. But again, that score could be flipped. It could be lower. It could be higher. I just think both defenses are going to play well enough. Excuse me. Well enough that the teams itself will not go over 30 points. I think it's going to be below 30-point game for each of the teams. I don't think they'll score over 30, but I don't think it's going to be a monster game. The most points that I think any team could win by would be 7 or 10, but I'm going to go for safe. I got the Chiefs winning by 4 and covering that -2. Other than that, guys, we're going to move on to what Kevin thinks. So, ladies and gentlemen, I welcome you, Kevin, to the podcast. And I know, Logan, you're going to be out there. We tried to call you, but I know you got a wrestling match tomorrow, which me and Kevin will be there. Good luck to you, buddy. And you're going to kick some ass. But he wasn't able to. We'll get him on the live. We're going to have a live show either tomorrow or Sunday. Probably tomorrow because Sunday's the Super Bowl. So probably tomorrow we'll have a live show on YouTube. So you guys should definitely check that out. I have my brother Logan jump on and say a couple things. But here's my cameraman / editor, Kevin. I would not be here without this man, so you guys should give him a nice round of applause, and he can come into the picture a little bit. So, Kevin, what are your thoughts on the Super Bowl? And yeah, just keep it short and simple. Don't ramble on like a dumbass. So keep it short and simple. So, introduce yourself.
My name's Kevin. I am the editor of Him. Okay.
Him?
Yeah, Zack.
I'm not being edited. Sorry, guys. He's kind of slow, but he is the cameraman and editor of the Fire Sports Pod podcast. So he's done a lot for me for this stuff. So
I think the 49ers are gonna win. I know you don't like it because of my reason. I'm not gonna get into the reason, but I'm saying the 49ers are gonna win by like 10.
Okay, what's the score?
14. I'm gonna say 14-20.
That's a 6-point win.
Whatever.
24-14, you mean? That's
a
10-point win.
Yeah, that.
Oh, God. Guys, I'm sorry. He is a little slow, but hey, he still gets the job done. So you got to take it where you can take it. And yeah, that's pretty much it. But yeah, so Kevin thinks that the 49ers are going to win by 10, 24-14. I got the Chiefs winning 28-24. We'll get Logan's reaction tomorrow on what he thinks it's going to be. But personally, the only reason why he thinks that is because he thinks of this stupid ass fucking thing where it's because of Taylor Swift and they're paying the people and whatever the fucking
I got multiple reasons.
Yeah. Because her album equals 13.
No.
It's February 13.
No.
Blah, 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 blah.
No, it's because Taylor Swift's favorite number is 13. It's Super Bowl 58. What's 5 plus 8 is 13. Like, it just makes sense.
They don't make any sense. Chat just banned his ass from ever coming back onto this shit. He's an idiot. All right, guys. Well, Kevin, goodbye. And that's pretty much it for Kevin's little segment here on the Fire Sports Pod. We're going to be moving on to our second and final segment here on the Fire Sports Pod. We're going to be moving on to just talking a little bit about the Devils and the Rangers. And hockey's finally back after a week of a hiatus of going into the All-Star week. So it's great to have some hockey back so we could talk some hockey. But in all, you have a couple things. So we're just gonna go over the Devils first. So coming back from the All-Star break, the last game before the All-Star break was Saturday, January 27th, where the Lightning took down the Devils 6-3. After that, they come out of the All-Star break with a bang, winning 5-3 with no Jack Hughes. So it was a pretty big win for them with no Jack Hughes. 5-3 win over the Avalanche. Who would have thought the Avalanche losing 2-1 in overtime to my Rangers the following night would lose another one to the Devils. But to be honest, the Devils had it coming after losing 6-3 the previous game to the Lightning. Then they followed it up with losing last night 5-3. So that against the Flames. I mean, the Flames are not bad, but they're not great. So they're right there in the average to about below average team. Their next game is tomorrow. Technically today, about to be in 3 minutes against the Hurricanes at the Hurricanes at 7 p.m. Eastern time. That's going to be a tough game from them. Then they come back home to take on the Kraken, and then they go back on the road to take on the Predators. Then they come back home to take on the Kings. Then they stay at home to take on the Flyers. Then they go away to take on the Capitals, and then they come back home to verse my Rangers on Thursday, February 22nd. That's going to be a hell of a game, another rivalry game at the Prudential Center. But I'm probably going to go with the Hurricanes to beat the Devils tomorrow night. I just don't think that the Devils are good enough to beat the Hurricanes. But the Flames, man, they got the best of the Devils last night. And just the Devils got to stay consistent. Jack Hughes was back, but still just got to stay consistent. Got to keep getting people back healthy and try to stay healthy enough so they can make a push and make a run and they can stop faltering at the lowest points. I just think that they're a much better team. than they put out to be. And I'm a Rangers fan, so if I'm saying that, then you guys know I ain't joking. I also think that in general wise, I just think that the Devils, they have their shots. They just miss them all the time. And sometimes they do it out of nowhere, and sometimes they do it seems sometimes on purpose, really. But I do think the Devils, if they if they start becoming healthy, consistent, Jack Hughes plays great, and they move the puck around and they distribute the puck, they will do some wondrous things in the coming games of the second half of the NHL season. Now, moving on from the Devils, we're going to go into the Rangers, my New York Rangers. What a start to the after the All-Star break that the Rangers have so far. Even though we had a little bit of a scare today, that when we versed the Blackhawks, where we won 4-3 in overtime, but we still got the win, and that's really all that matters. So now we're just going to be going over the Rangers now, guys, and the Rangers so far out of the All-Star break have really picked it up a notch. I mean, coming off the 7-2 win over the Senators before the break, January 27th, Saturday. We come back from the All-Star break on Monday, and what a game this was in the Madison Square Garden, final in overtime against the Avalanche. As I said earlier, the Rangers win 2-1 in a great fashion. And that propels them to the next game, which was Wednesday, February 7th, where they beat the Lightning at home 3-1. Another strong suited team that is probably going to make a push for the playoffs towards the end of the season. And then tonight, final in overtime, where the Rangers took down the Blackhawks 4-3. We had a 3-1 lead basically the whole third period, and then with like 2 minutes left, they tied the game and then went into overtime. And then the Rangers had a shot in the beginning of overtime, and we didn't capitalize on it. And then we got our shot again, and then we capitalized on it. It's not a big monster thing where, oh my God, we're like so excited that we beat the Blackhawks. But at the same time, the fact that we lost the lead 3-1 to make it 3-3 is embarrassing. But the fact that we lost it, we didn't give up, and we came out of nowhere, and we won the game. And really all that matters is a win is a win. But you want to win. When you're up 3-1, you got to secure the win and not let teams like this hang around. Their next game would be Monday, 7 p.m. Eastern Time, February 12th, at home against the Flames. And then that following game, their Thursday, February 15th, home against the Canadiens. Then they have the Islanders and at the Islanders. Then you're back home against the Stars. And then the Devils match up February 22nd. Then you have the Flyers. Then you have the Blue Jackets. And then you have the Blue Jackets again. So you have the Blue Jackets at the Blue Jackets. And then you got the Blue Jackets at the Rangers. So pretty somewhat of a tough schedule we have up ahead. I would say the Flames was a win. The Canadiens is a win. Islanders is a win. Stars and Devils back and forth. Could be either or. Flyers win, Blue Jackets win, Blue Jackets win. So either the Stars or the Devils are going to be the one game that we lose. Hopefully it's the Stars and we beat the Devils at the Prudential Center. But you never know with our team because sometimes we don't come prepared. And on top of our game, some nights we should be doing that. And some nights we aren't. Well, other than that, that is pretty much it, guys, for our NHL talk. If you guys did not hear, you guys should go check out my TikTok on the Fire Sports Pod, as we were going over some sports stories. We're going over some bets, some odds for the games that are coming up. Either was coming up to last night or it's going to be happening tonight. Definitely tune into the TikTok. He's either going to be posting right shortly after this as we go over some sports stories, or we'll post it tomorrow morning, and we'll post tomorrow morning what's happening tonight in the sports world. Other than that, guys, that's pretty much it for my YouTube show here on the Fire Sports Pod, where everything we do here is fire. Hope you guys enjoyed my YouTube show. I'm your host, Zack Jackson, and that is all that I have for you guys tonight. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Sorry for it coming so late. It's basically Saturday, but hey, we still have to get it done. A deal is a deal. A job's a job. A business is a business. Other than that, guys, have a great rest of your Saturday morning, and I'll catch you guys tomorrow. Today, in the afternoon as we go live on YouTube at the Fire Sports Pod. Peace.